and gentlemen, we are... Thank you. Dear teens, could you please behave yourself? We are here to promote an idea of debating in the classroom, and lots of people ask us how to do it, and at the beginning we will show you what the debate is about, and then our beloved teachers from all over Poland will have a show debate with all the mistakes and all the things that trouble our students, but we would like to show it in a natural way. So they are also stressed out terribly, as our students are. I would like to talk for a while about benefits of teaching debates, because there are no negative sides. What is an Oxford debate? Just briefly, so that you will know what is going on in here and how to do it. If time permits, we will show you some exercises, how to introduce debates into the classroom. And I would also like to introduce you to this guy. I will tell you about him later on. Oxford debate is not the only type of debate. We've got British parliamentary, so there are two people debating against each other. There's a French-style debate. There are 5 people debating against each other. Impromptu debate, the same as impromptu speech. Students have no time to prepare, so they have a debate off the cuff. An Oxford debate. So we've got 2 teams consisting of 4 people and arguing about some topic. Okay, so what are the benefits? And more benefits. So, when we introduce debate into the classroom, students learn how to make the research. They learn analytical thinking and also note-taking. It's very difficult today when students, use internet and use this technique, copy-paste, without even reading. And if they want to get ready for a good debate, they have to think and, analyze what's in the text and if they can use it as an argument. They also learn to see 2 sides, because usually if we talk about a competition or a real debate, students don't know the side. We know the sides. We will show you, because we decided which side we are. But normally, students have to get ready for both sides. And this is very good, because they have to note what the opposing side may tell them. So they are ready to beat the argument. It's also about critical thinking, and I know that it's a very fashionable word today, and we could hear it almost in every presentation. But can we really say that students are able to think critically? And again, it's about this copy-paste thing. So they just take what they get in the internet and take it for granted. And in order to get ready for the debate, they have to judge and weigh the argument. Okay, and they have to be able to connect the dots. Now I will refer to Magda's presentation and see the whole, because it's a teamwork. And it's not possible to prepare a good debate if you just talk about things that you think. You have to analyze. You have to read some data. You have to find some good arguments, both in books, discuss it, and then it's worth presenting. And it's something that happens every day in our life, and we start when we are children. Yes, we negotiate, and the argument that parents like to use, it's I will not allow you to watch this film, but why? Just because of that, okay? Just like that. And it's not an argument, and we want to teach our students to use reasonable arguments. And as I said, it's a teamwork, so it's also something difficult these days when students, are focused on their smartphones, and it's very often difficult to build a relationship between people, and working as a team really enhances that. And it's also a kind of a form of public speaking, and very often our students are afraid of public speaking. It's something that really gets on the nerves. We can see it during oral exams, how nervous they are. And being a member of a team is a safe place, because they're not there alone. So they feel more confident when speaking in public as a team, or as a representative of a team. And it's also a life skill. When you think about real situations, when you have to debate, what are they? It's an exam, okay? So you have to be convincing, you have to give arguments. During our oral exam in Poland, we have to give arguments, right? When there is a topic. During job interview, you have to convince the person who is interviewing you why he or she should hire you. So again, it's, saying, I'm good, not convincing. So again, it's practicing how to do it. Also, in a real human relationship, like partner, you do the dishes. No, you do. But why? Because I did it yesterday. And also children and parents relationship, and also saying why things should be done. So it may seem that Oxford debate is something unusual, but we've got mini debates every day. And also in many occupations we use this public speaking element. Okay, so we have to be convincing as doctors, CEOs, teachers, and many other occupations. And now let's talk about the debate itself. So what are the who takes part in the debate? So we've got a chair lady or a chairman. Hania today is a chair lady. The most important person, because she is the person who is keeping the order of the debate. And we always, bow when we see her. There's a bell girl or bell boy. Hania will take both roles today. Two in one. We've got jury. So let's say that you are the jury today. And we've got speakers on both sides. So usually it looks like this. So here is the proposition. They are the proposition. So Eva, Marcin, Alicja, Ania, they are the proposition. So they are in favor of the topic you will get to know in a moment. Or maybe you do know it. Here is the opposition. So they will disagree with them. Here is the chair lady and a bell girl. Here is the jury, and here is the audience. So usually the layout is like this. And now each speaker has got a specific role. It's not that everyone says what he or she thinks. Everyone needs to fulfill the role. So the first speaker defines the thesis. So if there is a topic, we see what we can take out of this topic. So usually some concepts. Yeah? Like, for example, with Martin, we like to debate with our students, our favorite topic for the debate is it's better to be beautiful rather than intelligent. Okay? We love it. We love it. So now we would have to define, what can we define in this topic? Beauty, intelligence, okay, pardon?
Better.
Better, yeah, what it means to be better. Guess who always wins?
Beauty.
Better arguments.
Maybe not this time.
No, not this time. Anne can start introducing arguments, but basically the role of the first speaker is to define the territory. Okay, so if they define it, the opposing team cannot define it in their own way. They need to somehow fit into their definitions. Okay, they can extend the territory, but they cannot just deny it. The second speaker on both sides are the supporters of the leader. So these are the people who introduce arguments. Okay, very important role. But remember that this is not the responsibility of just this one person. It's a teamwork. So the whole team thinks about arguments. So data, evidence, as I mentioned before. And the third speaker is the politician, so he or she beats the arguments. Okay? But remember, because this is something that very often worries people, worries teachers, that we're not beating people, we're beating arguments. Okay? And it's very important, because even when the debate is judged, if it happens that a speaker attacks another speaker, it's called ad personam, argument ad personam, which means that the person gets minus 20 points, which usually means that the debate is lost. Okay, so we teach a well-mannered discussion.
Impossible.
Okay, and the fourth speaker is summarizing the whole debate. She's called the diplomat. So usually he or she says why we were better, why our arguments were better, and why there's no denying that we won the debate. And you will see it on both sides. And the fourth speaker cannot introduce new arguments. Okay, just summarizes the whole thing. So both sides do the same. Okay, so this is what it looks like in a real classroom situation. And very often teachers say that it's too difficult, but at the end of our debate we will have Anya and Martin saying a few words how they introduce debating and how it works in their classes. And I would like to invite you to this. I told you that I will tell you a few words about this guy, because in Bydgoszcz we set up a competition which is called Muszkieterowie Słowa, Musketeers of Words. These are debates in English, and this year will be a big year. We'll tell you later, because we managed to get a grant, and there will be teams from Slovenia, from Germany, and from Italy coming to Bydgoszcz. So that would be fantastic if you could come with your teams. And I would like to tell you just one word how it started, because some she was here several times on IATEFL Conference, and she was the one who actually was the first to tell us about Oxford debates, about debating. And I was participating in her talk twice, and only after the second talk, I had this thought: why shouldn't we start? Why shouldn't we do the same? Okay, and she was so generous, and she is such a lovely person, and she agreed to come and give us a talk in Bydgoszcz how to do it, and this is how it started. And we are kindly sponsored by two institutions, Lang and Oxford, which really helps to organize it. Okay, did I mention benefits? Yeah. Okay, talking about how it works later on. Okay, so let's now practice. Yes. So now we will show you a real debate. Burger. Okay, so 3 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the topic of our debate today is: this House believes that teachers should not smile until Christmas. Let me introduce the teams, the proposition, the team that supports the motion. The first speaker of the proposition, Anna Orłowska. The second speaker of the proposition, Alicja Gałązka. The third speaker of the proposition, Marcin Stanowski. And the fourth speaker of the proposition, Ewa Grzelak. And now the opposing team. The first speaker of the opposing team, Monika Izwaner. The second speaker of the opposing team is Magda Zawadzka. The third speaker of the opposition is Łukasz Knap. And the fourth speaker is Grzegorz Fidanza. I would like to remind you that each speaker is allowed to speak for 3 minutes only, and that you beat arguments, not the people. And you can ask the question to each speaker, and the first 30 seconds and the last 30 seconds are protected. And the question can only take 10 seconds. Are you ready? So may I ask the first speaker of the proposition?
Honourable Chair Lady, distinguished opposition, and our delightful audience. Have you ever dreamt of a time machine? I bet you have, of one that would take you out of the drudgery, of the pitiful money we earn as teachers, of the environment with no respect, with little discipline, one that brought that profession down. I certainly would make use of one, and I would take myself, together with my colleagues, to the glorious times of the Victorian era, with the teacher-centered classroom, based on 4 pillars that we so badly lack today: discipline, respect, and first and foremost, education. I bet what...
Question. You mentioned 4 pillars and you spoke about 3. What's the 4th one?
The fourth one is going to be revealed later on. These are the three musketeers of education and the teaching profession that we so badly need today. Now I want you to think of the broadest smile in Polish education. Got that? There is this lady, kind of big deal, kind of in charge. Look where all the smiles have led us. We don't want smiles that stick. We want education that stick. We don't want to be edutainers. We want to be educators. Don't be the cool teacher. Don't be the nice teacher. Be the professional teacher. This house firmly believes that teachers should not smile until Christmas. Let us define the basic terms of our line of argumentation. First of all, teaching is all about knowledge, is all about education, and this is the way we see, our heart sees the role of a teacher. Second thing, a smile. What's a smile? Isn't it just something that you might use just to cover up for lack of things that you might suffer from, such as knowledge, resources? I think that smile should be understood. This house believes so. That smile is any way of bridging the gap of the healthy distance, the safe distance. Let me finish. Can we finish the sentence? Okay, thank you then.
Thank you. Now the first speaker of the opposition.
Ladies and gentlemen, this House believes, dear chair lady, esteemed opposition, dear audience, this House believes that teachers should smile, not only before Christmas, they should smile all the time. Why? What a smile is. Smile is the most evocative of human gestures. Smile is something that triggers positive emotions. When we smile, people feel good around us. Why should we deprive ourselves of such a powerful tool? If it, a smile is something that opens the hearts of everyone, right? No, thank you. We, as teachers, are not generals who lead the troops to obedience. We are not circus masters who whip the monkeys to jump higher. We are human beings with a whole range of emotions, and smile is one of them. How can we pretend that, we smile and, establish this no smiling period and start smiling after Christmas? Well, that would, seem to our students. They wouldn't take it for something genuine, right? If I started smiling after Christmas, they would rather take it for a Cheshire grin, not Cheshire grin, a grin of a Cheshire cat. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of establishing those borders, it sounds as if it was, pumping up a discipline thing, this, balloon of a discipline, up to Christmas. But what if the balloon breaks before Christmas? We've got so many instances of depression and all that. Yes, please.
One bit of information about that. Don't you know that smiles serve also different
purposes, such as being malicious, smirking.
But I'm sorry, but I have just defined smile as something genuine. So we are talking about a genuine smile, not a fake smile. No, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stay with our motion and smile to your students.
Thank you. Now the second speaker of the proposition, please.
Dear chair lady, beloved opponents, who couldn't be mistaken more. First of all, I would like to remind you of the research done by Gordon in 1992 about emotional culture. You should know, my dear, that emotional intelligence and emotional culture doesn't mean that you express only the positive emotions. It means that you have to be able to control and to manage emotions. And sometimes smiling is a sign that you can't manage your emotions. And lack of competence can be easily covered by smiling. The next thing is that we have different kinds of smiles. Are you aware of your types of smiles? We smile differently. Sometimes you think that you smile nicely, but it's a very malicious, horrible smile, very sarcastic. And you never know how your smile is going to be interpreted. So when you have in your classroom students and you smile, they can take your smile in a very different way. You smile before Christmas and they may think, okay, he smiles at me because he wants to put me down, because he knows that I'm going to spend Christmas alone, and maybe he wants to invite me to Christmas. Do we want to invite our students to our Christmas? Rather not. Another thing is that the time before Christmas is Advent. And in Advent, we don't smile. We pray. We reflect on our sins. Not smile. So if you keep smiling, if you can't resist smiling, you need to change the way you teach. It's time for everything. It's time to smile, it's time to learn. So if you want to smile, you need to wait for the proper time. If students learn for the whole year, maybe in the end of the year, it would be more advisable to smile, but definitely not before Christmas. Because they can feel a bit frustrated, lost. Why do we smile before Christmas? Is there any reason for that?
Question?
No, thank you. And also, why we work in public school. Why do we smile in public schools? Are we really so happy to smile? Do you earn enough money to smile? Thank you.
May I ask the second speaker of the opposition?
Dear Marshall, dear opponents, and dear beloved smiling audience. I don't think anyone can doubt that smile is a uniquely human thing. I would propose that asking teachers not to smile before Christmas, or at any other time of the year for that matter, is asking them to deny their humanity, and this is something even our opponents wouldn't want. If this argument doesn't convince you, I'd like to encourage you to look at what science tells us about smiling. First of all, mirror neurons, right? They tell us that... No, thank you.
Point of information.
No. Well, and although some scientists might dispute the significance of mirror neurons, we know that basically when you smile at people, they smile back, no matter what science and specialists say about it, even if there's no scientific proof. Yes?
I would like to ask about psychopaths, because usually, there was research done on psychopaths that, the neurons don't work, and they smile when they see somebody suffering. Is it what you really want to see?
No, thank you. Oh, that was such a... I think I have an answer. I think it's a brilliant question. Well, if we don't practice smiling in everyday life, if we don't look at people who smile back at us, how can we spot a psychopath?
According to...
No, don't have it ready yet.
Thank you. Well, as they say, going back to mirror neurons, well, basically people, when we smile at them, they respond, right? So I think this is what we want to experience. Well, smile, and as they say, the world smiles with you, sometimes at you. And because smiling, even on purpose, changes the chemistry of our brain. And it activates left frontal cortex, and I think even my opponents will agree with that. This is where happiness resides, and we all want to be happy. Our students want to be happy, and we as teachers want to be happy. So logically, smiling makes the teacher happy. Yes?
Have you heard about the research on positive psychology?
After the question, answer. Logically, smiling makes the teacher happy, even if he wants his students to be miserable. And if you are tempted to follow the path of Machiavelli, who said that better to be strict at the start and kind later. Okay, thank you.
Now, the third speaker of the proposition.
Beloved chair lady, so badly mistaken opponents, wonderful audience. We are smiling now because we are not in front of students. Actually, my task is very difficult because I would like to debunk all the myths that you have just proposed, but actually the opponent team didn't really present any valid arguments. But let me just point out several. Thank you very much. Point out several things. My beloved second speaker of opponents, you mentioned. Your team mentioned Machiavelli. Don't you think that using argument of the greatest manipulator is not the best argument? Use smile to manipulate people, actually.
Yes, point of information. Yes. I haven't finished, and I wanted to say that we should go against what Machiavelli suggested.
I'm so sorry that you haven't said it. Another point is that if you, our beloved opponents, cannot spot psychopaths, please take a look at politicians who smile a lot just to fool you, to fool us. Thank you very much. And also, the first speaker of the proposition mentioned the naturality and ingenuity of smile. You could be absolutely genuine in your malicious smile. Is that what you really want? Thank you very much. Obviously, if you talk about mirror neurons, this argument is absolutely not valid. First of all, the study was research on the macaques. Obviously, they do smile. But are you comparing your students to monkeys? Shame on you. Another thing, there was something about borders here. There's nothing more genuine as borders in social life. We naturally create borders. This is, I mean, we cannot expect professionalism without creating borders. And smiling is such a powerful tool, as you said. But why should you waste it so early? You smile when they deserve. Look at psychologists, look at pedagogues. They don't just kind of sport smiles all the time.
And now the third speaker of the opposition.
Dear Chair Lady, our esteemed smile-deprived opponents, and our lovely audience. I will start with something I think is the most important. You said that, why smile? Why should we smile before Christmas? Is there any reason to smile before Christmas? Yes, I will quote here a very well-known professor, IATEFL Poland, who said that teaching is a vocation. Why would you not smile if you're following your vocation? My God. Also, if we don't have a... Yes?
But now with vocation, I mean, priests don't smile too much.
I will refer to that in a minute, okay? Another reason to smile, maybe we are underpaid as teachers, as the opposition said, but do you really think that everybody will look at us, the society will look at us and think, what a sad bunch, let's pay them more? No, they will think, what a sad bunch, they deserve to be paid so little. Why should we pay them? They don't, and you know, okay, fine, maybe we don't earn enough, but smile doesn't cost a thing. Yes?
If a teacher, public school teacher smiles, it shows that it supports a good change.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Guys, please have a look at photos of the good change supporters. Do they really smile a lot? Really? Really? Look at the photos and tell me, do they really smile? No. Actually, a smile is an act of rebellion here. Yes? Thank you. Thank you. And also, you said that a smile can be a cover up for anything you want to cover up, but so it can be a scowl or emotionless face. You said that perhaps we don't know how a smile can be interpreted. That's true. We don't know how a smile can be interpreted. But we definitely know how an emotionless face, a poker face, will be interpreted. Yes? I really like you. No, when I smile, yes, maybe it will be interpreted this way or that way. But my poker face, for a long time, when my students never see my smile, definitely this will be treated as lack of any emotion, any connection, any honesty. This we know for sure. And also...
Now the fourth speaker of the proposition.
Honourable Chair Lady, dear entertained, monkey-loving opponents, delightful, entertained audience. This House firmly believes that smiles school is a different environment, is a separate environment. It's an institution. Emotional institution is not. It's an educational institution. We believe that what is brought by smile is miscomprehension and can lead to disappointment. We firmly believe that school is a place for
0-1 situations, because they are the only ones that lead to teacher-centeredness in classroom, and this allows educational process to stay in responsible hands of professionals, not people who are driven by their emotions and who are not edutainers. This house firmly believes that the place to spoil a child is home.
You hear?
And we also believe that teachers are paid for educating our children, your children, and not for making funny faces.
Is there any scientific evidence pointing that professionalism and smiling are mutually exclusive? If you could quote that.
Oh. Unfortunately, I do not have any sources about macaques at the moment, but I will be happy to provide you with necessary sources after the debate.
Well, I can only smile.
This is all you can do. Our house also believes that teaching is a prestigious profession, and this has been slowly changing, and we don't support direction to which it all is following. Ladies and gentlemen, beloved audience, the decision is in your hands.
Fourth speaker of the opposition, please.
Thank you, most charming chair lady. Our beloved and superb, though not having so many arguments, opposition, and fabulous audience. We have just listened to a discussion. Maybe I wouldn't call it discussion because we have heard lots of insults on one hand and plenty of logical and full of scientific evidence on the other side. So just to sum it up and underline once more that this house firmly believes that teaching is a passion, is a job that we do because of vocation, and perhaps you haven't noticed that we already live in the 21st century where teaching is about building community, about gaining respect, not by discipline, because we are no longer, we aren't generals with whips and fighting for respect from our students by pressure, by oppression, and smile, thank you, is one of the is one of the array of all our emotions. Smile is authentic. So putting this borderline between Christmas and after is artificial, and students sense artificiality very quickly, and they know when we are honest and not. They believe us. They like us. Thank you. So, as we mentioned, smile is a powerful teaching tool. We are not saying that we should smile all the time, as if we were stupid.
You hear?
We say that we should smile whenever our students deserve it. And we believe that... And this house believes that us, as professional teachers, and we are all here gathered as professionals, we know that respect from students starts from the beginning of our teaching, not Christmas, not Easter. And referring to the time of Lent before Christmas, God loves smiling. God loves fun. We are no longer... If you have read Umberto Eco's The Name of the Rose, you will know that fun is for people, teaching is for people, and smiling is for people. Thank you very much.
Now, a very difficult task for you, because you were an audience, but at the same time a jury. And it's difficult because you probably came here with some preconceived theory about whether teachers should smile or not, and when you judge, you don't take it for granted. Okay, you can't support the team that was in line with your opinion. You just look at us, at our teams, and our arguments. So who was really better? Which goes without saying. Okay, so can we, just for fun, can we vote? Who would be in favor? Just raise your hand. Yeah, who would?
So now I would just say it in a proper way, the way you should say it, not like it funny and smiling right now. So we would really kind of ask you to professionally deal with the issue and raise your hands. First, if you support the proposition team.
So who supports?
Thank you very much. We've got more than half.
Just to make sure, could you please raise your hand who is in favor of opposition?
Just to sum it up, have you noticed how much they were smiling?
It was the tool of manipulation, so we had to smile.
How can I tell?
Okay, now we would like to provoke a little bit of discussion and what you notice, because we made mistakes as well. Okay, so for you to see, some on purpose, some not.
Yeah, because sometimes the questions or whatever was asked there was interaction. Sometimes we just shut it out. So what's the rule?
The rule is that depending on the length of the speech, because here we had only 3 minutes, normally it takes 4 or 5 minutes, so the speaker has to accept one question, or if it's decided that he or she has to accept 2 questions. But the opposing team can ask as many questions as they want, because it's also a tool to interrupt. Okay, but sometimes when the opposing team sees that the speaker hesitates, doesn't really know what to say, you don't ask the question, because it helps. When you ask a question, it's, you grab it because it helps you to say something, to respond. So you have to be clever.
But if you interrupt all the time, I mean, if you are interrupted all the time, you cannot proceed with what you were going to say.
Yeah,
just
but
answer or reply.
No, so that's why you say no, thank you.
But for how many times can you say?
No, but normally we were trying to show off and we were trying to ask those questions, but in a real debate, there's no time because we concentrate. Did you see what we did during other speeches? What we did? We were taking notes and we were helping the next speaker.
Is it allowed to help each other? I mean, I know it's a teamwork, but still, you are the first speaker. Can you help the third one?
Yes, I can, and it's also
May I say?
Yeah.
Because in fact I did receive a lot of help.
All right.
So while we were listening, all of these guys, they gave me notes.
All right.
So while I was speaking, I was using all our notes.
So it was easier for you to use the argument. Yeah, exactly.
And it's also graded. I mean, when juries got the whole points to grade, to take into consideration, teamwork is one of them.
All right.
Okay.
But then the juries...
Pardon?
What is the list of juries?
I can send it to you because we've got the whole table. Yes, please.
You have to say question.
Yeah, that's also a good thing because there are two things.
Could you please repeat questions because we can't hear the questions?
Yeah, just a sec. There are two types of interruption. Question, and then somebody who wants to ask a question, it has to be a question, because if it's not a question, there is a minus point. The second is a point of information. So, for example, like I think Martin said something about statistical data, okay, that the authorities say this or that. Okay, so he doesn't ask, he didn't ask a question, but just wanted to show that we made a mistake. Okay?
Is there a question? Is there a limit to points of information?
Two. We decided that, you know, within 3 minutes we can only ask each other one question.
So,
or point of information, one of either this or that.
But per speaker or per the whole team? I mean,
one speaker.
Point of information. I've noticed during the debate that some people waited to be asked the question, like they raised their hand, and if the chair lady allowed it, they asked the question. Some people just shout the question.
Thank you for pointing it out.
Which one is allowed?
The correct one is, yes. So let's. I am talking, Anya. And now I need to see that she wants to do it. I nod that I accept. I don't say anything. I just nod. And then Anya stands up. No. And then Anya looks at the chair lady. And the chair lady either allows or not. Because the chair lady sees the time. Okay, so protected, because some of them wanted to ask, Alicia, I think, wanted to ask a question within the protected time. Because
so it's not the speaker who allows the question?
In a way, he or she does.
Oh,
yes.
nod and then... But she...
So I nod, yes, I want it. Or I said, no, thank you.
Okay.
If I say no, thank you, the
but
chair
she
lady...
has the final say.
Yeah.
What is protected time?
30 seconds.
First 30 seconds and the last 30 seconds. Yeah. And also Alicia actually made a mistake because Hania said that the question can only last 10 seconds. Otherwise, it's, you know, you take over somebody's speech. Yeah. And there was one big mistake here. No, we can take it. It was made on purpose. It was made on purpose. Eva attacked us. Monkey, what did you say? Monkey lovers or something. Yeah, that was ad person.
How come it's an insult? Monkey lovers. I love you.
No. The debate is over. You won.
We are just like within like walking distance to the zoo. Which is a distance that some people didn't.
Yeah, but seriously, we wanted to show it that it's not allowed, okay, to attack people, okay, because it's a well-mannered debate, and this is what we teach. And also Grzegorz actually got very excited at one point, and he wanted to give a point of information to our speaker. Yes, please.
I've got a question. What do you know about the audience? I mean, the spontaneous reactions we have here, are they allowed, like clapping?
Yeah, sure. And I love French debate. Debbie would probably say something about it. French audience is very excited, and this here thing is actually from a French debate. Yeah.
How about, because it's also customary in the British Parliament,
yeah.
that those reactions are like, it's also part of this.
Emotions, smile.
You lost.
I have to say I love this
actually ad personam calling out, the Professor Gałązka.
We prepared that. That was good, wasn't it?
It was to make her smile.
So just to celebrate our glorious victory,
To shame.
All this shouting is not going to change it. Relax and smile.
gadgets are not allowed during the debate.